Okay, so last week we have covered Route 53. We have seen what is DNS. It's a phone direct like a phone directory. We have to search your URL to your server. You have to search the IP address of your server. Okay, we have seen top level domain name. We have seen the second level domain name. Okay, we have seen domain registrar. Okay, then records in DNS, then alias. We have covered all these things. Now today we are going to cover what are the policies in the Route 53. Now we have seen that, we have understood that whenever you register a domain, it can be from third party, it can be from Amazon. You have to configure that into Route 53, that domain. And after the configuration, whenever anybody will hit your domain, it will be landed, it will be route to Route 53, and in the hosted zone you have to update your hosted zone. Okay, now this is our domain. If you are domain doesn't come in free tier. If you want, you can purchase a domain, but it is a chargeable service. Okay, the domain is a chargeable service. Now we have to route the. Now after this we have to route our request to the server, to the machine on which we have to send the request, the URL request. Okay, in the simple, so we have couple of routing policies available. Okay, so as soon as the request land on Route 53, it will land on, you can send the traffic to the different servers. So we have simple routing, weighted routing, latency based routing, failover routing, geo routing, geo proxy, and multi-level routing. Okay, so let's understand simple routing. Okay, before that, let's go to the console. Let's go to console and create EC2 machines in three different regions. Okay, one in Mumbai, one in Virginia, one in Sydney. So right now I'm in Mumbai. I'm creating a EC2 machine, and on top of EC2 machine I'm hosting a website. So if you're creating the EC2 machine first time in different region, you might need to create a security group as well as key value pair. Okay, and here I'm passing the bootstrap script. Just a second, let me copy the bootstrap script. Okay, and here I'm writing Mumbai. So I'm passing a bootstrap script. Okay, everything is default, just launch it. This is Mumbai. Okay, let's go to Virginia and Sydney. I'm in Virginia right now. In Virginia, there is no EC2 machine running. Just click on create EC2 machine. Same procedure. Now here you have to create a key value pair if you haven't created before. I have created couple of key value pair previously. Okay, let me check. Okay, doesn't matter. You can use any key value pair. If you have not created, you have to create first. Same goes with security group. So if you have created security group previously, use that. Otherwise, create your security group which should be having SSH and HTML certificates. HTML and SSH traffic should be allowed. Then I'm passing a bootstrap script with Virginia. And same thing I'm going to do for Sydney. I'm in Sydney region. T2 micro key value pair. You can see I haven't created key value pair. So even you can create a EC2 machine without key value pair. But you have to create a security group. That's a mandatory. The security group I have created, which will have SSH and HTML protocol enable. Okay. So let me check if Mumbai region EC2 machine is up and running. Up and running. So this is the URL. Let me paste this thing. It's up. Website is up. So I'm just writing. This is for Mumbai. This is Virginia. Copy. In the second tab I'm entering. Virginia is up. Let's check with Sydney. Sydney is also up and running. So let's go to Route 53. Go to the hosted zone. Go to your URL or the domain which you have purchased. Okay, so let me delete this one. So whenever you have a hosted zone, you will see this two record. There will be two record, NS record and SOA. Now you have to create a new record. Create a record. Okay. Now which record we are learning right now? Simple routing. We are learning simple routing. So simple routing is basically whenever your request will land on Route 53, it will send the request to two IP address. Okay, two or more IP addresses. So if you choose a simple routing policy, you will only have one record with multiple IP addresses. If you specify multiple value in the record, it will return all the values to the user in random order. So if the user is hitting your domain, it can go to this EC2 machine, it can go to this EC2 machine randomly. This is a simple routing. So you have to pass the list. So this is your creation, this is your domain. Here I'm creating a record. You have to pass the IP address. So this is Mumbai. Let me copy for Virginia IP address. Okay, so just copy this URL. Here you have to pass the URL, not the you have to pass the IP address. So Mumbai, let me delete the IP, doesn't matter. Okay, Virginia and Sydney. Just pass the URLs. Now TTL, basically how long the IP should be available over the internet. So I'm keeping this as 3 seconds. Okay, and simple routing. So domain will be your DNS should be resolved to any of this IP, and this IP will be live for 3 seconds over the internet. Create. Okay. Now, as soon as I have created this routing, it will take a couple of seconds over the internet. Just paste this one. Paste the domain. Now you can see it is Mumbai. Now refresh couple of time. Okay, or use different browser. Use different browser. It will your request will land on different EC2 machine. Okay, so right now as the IP is cached, it is landing on Mumbai. Your IP address is cached. It is the URL is landing on Mumbai. You can see now it's hitting Virginia. So if you refresh, it can land to the Virginia or it can land to different URL. Why it is landing to Virginia? Because the IP address is cached. Okay, so you can go to different browser and check. Now so different people will get different response. Okay, this is called simple routing. So your request will land to any of the endpoints. Now the second type of routing is weighted routing. So weighted routing, basically you can define the weightage, that how much percentage of traffic do you want to send to the different endpoint. So allow you to split your traffic based on the weightage assigned. For example, you can set 10% of traffic to go to US East 1 and 90% to AP South 1. Okay, that's simple. So go to your record, go to your domain. This is the A record which we have created previously. Delete this one. Okay, now create the record. Here you can see weighted routing. Now as soon as you click on weighted routing, the news you can see additional parameters are open. You have to pass the weightage, as well as one more option is open which is optional. It is called health checkup. In simple routing we don't have any health checkup, but in other routings we have health checkup. So what is health checkup? So just like your just like your load balancer, you have a option to set up a health checkup. Just like load balancer, you should do the health checkup of the target EC2 machine or target endpoint. Your Route 53 also do the health checkup. So you can set a health checkup on an individual record set. If a record set fail a health checkup, it will remove it from the Route 53 until it pass the health checkup. Okay, you can enable the notification. So if you go to Route 53, you will see a tab called health checkup. Okay, again Route 53 is a global service. Route 53 is a global service. Okay, so let's create a health checkup. This is for Mumbai. Mumbai, you can fill out, you just have to paste your IP address. Okay, or the URL. Just copy this thing. Okay, IP address, and if you want to add a path, so index.html, that's it. You can see if you are not passing it, it will also work because it is hitting this http dot slash 3.10 110 dot 191 dot 239 port 80. It is trying to hit this URL to enable this health checkup. So this is for Mumbai. I don't want to enable. Okay, previously if you want to configure any more thing, okay, fast standard is every 30 second it will hit the URL. If you want to hit more frequently, you can change to fast, but it will be a chargeable service. You can see additional option. No additional option selected. View charges. Okay, and new. Next, and create a health checkup. So it will take a health checkup for 30 seconds. Mumbai. Let's create a health checkup for Virginia. Paste the IP address and just create. Mumbai done. Sydney, create health checkup for Sydney. Okay, so this is how you can create a health checkup for your endpoint, for your application, so that if that application goes down, your request will not land to the route to the your request will not route to this unhealthy instance. So it will take couple of seconds to make them status as healthy or unhealthy. Meanwhile, let's go to routing, hosted zone, our domain, and create a record. Okay, here I am passing weightage. So in weightage, you have to pass individual IP address with the individual health checkup. So I will create three records here, not one record. So for Mumbai, I am passing the IP address. TTL is 30 seconds. Weightage is, let's say I want to send a traffic to Mumbai like 50%. Okay, you have to give a name Mumbai and a health checkup. It's optional. Okay, this is I'm sending a traffic to Mumbai. Add. Here I'm sending a second traffic to Virginia. I'm adding multiple endpoints. Weightage 1, TTL is 3 second. Weightage is 30%. Give a name, ID, and optional is health checkup, Virginia. Similarly, you can add more. Sydney, TTL 30 seconds. Simple routing, you can change it to weighted routing. Health checkup Sydney, and 20% I want to send to Sydney, and give a name Sid me and create the record. So we have added three endpoint, three records to our domain. Okay, now if I hit the domain, according to the weightage it will send the traffic. So you can see here 50, 20, 30. Okay, it will create a percentage of top of this. It will calculate the percentage, and according to the percentage it will send the traffic to the given endpoint. And first of all, before that, it will check the health. It will check see the health of your endpoint. So if your endpoint is unhealthy, it will stop sending the traffic to that particular endpoint. So now you can see here it is sent to Virginia. Let's open some other browser. Here it is sending to Mumbai. Let's check other browser. You can send it is sending to Mumbai. So according to the weightage, it will distribute your traffic on the given endpoint. This is the weighted traffic. And you can enable the health checkup as well. Now next is latency based routing. What is mean by latency based routing? How you can enable latency based routing? So latency based routing allow you to route your traffic based on the lowest network latency for your endpoint user. So basically latency means how much time it is taking for your website to respond, which region will give them the best fastest response. To use latency based routing, you create a latency record for the set of EC2 machine resource in each region that is hosting the website. When the Route 53 receive a query for your website, it select the latency resource record set for the region that give the user the lowest latency. Route 53 then responds with the value associated with that record. So how it works? So let me open one diagram. So let's assume that you have three server, right? One server is in this location, one is in this location right now, and third is in this location. We have three EC2 machine in different region. Now let's say your user is in South America. Okay, here. Now latency between these two servers is 2 seconds. Latency between these two servers is 3 seconds. And latency between these two are 4 seconds. So which server will be connected to this user? So where should route we should route the request to which server? Virginia, Mumbai, or Sydney? So as the latency between this and Virginia is less, Route 53 will reroute the request to this server. Okay, let's assume because of the network congestion, there was some issue in the network and this latency is elevated and it has gone to 5. Okay, there is some network congestion and the response from this region is coming as 5. So the Route 53 will send the request to the lowest latency. Now in this case, even though the distance is near, okay, the user is near to the Virginia, still the request will land to Mumbai region because there is a low latency. Here there is a high latency. Okay, that is called latency based routing. Okay, so Route 53 will check the latency. It will keep on checking the latency of the request and accordingly it will send the traffic. Okay, let me delete the previous A records, create a record. Okay, paste the IP address of Mumbai. You can see latency based routing. Okay, 3 seconds. So you have to select which is this IP address belongs to which region. It is in Mumbai. Select the Mumbai health checkup and give a name Mumbai. Okay, so now you are telling the Route 53 that check the latency and then route the request. Latency based routing. This is Virginia region. So Amazon will know what is the current latency using the health checkup or even the network congestion in the particular area. Behind the scene, it will keep on checking the response from the given IP or given region. So according to the latency, in the network, it will reroute the request. So we have created three latency based routing. Now, right now we are in India, so the closest server is Mumbai, right? The latency will be lower from Mumbai region. So if I refresh it, it will keep on giving me Mumbai. Okay, it will keep reverting as Mumbai because Mumbai is near to us and the latency will be less as compared to other two EC2 machine. So it is latency based routing. Next is um, geolocation based routing. Okay, so always remember the difference between latency and geolocation. So both are quite similar, but there is a quite very thin line very thin difference between these two. Okay, very minute difference between these two. So these are three server. Okay, latency basically means if you are here and then it will check the latency, the congestion in the network. Okay, if it's 10 seconds, if it's 5, it's 3, it is going to send the traffic to the low latency. It doesn't matter the distance, how much distance the server and the user having. But geolocation will matter the location at which the user is. So if the user is in this region, okay, and I have specified all the requests from North America should go to this machine. Okay, I'm specifying all the requests from this region should go to this machine. That is called geolocation. Irrespective of the latency, all the requests coming from Virginia will go to this machine. So location based routing. So if the request is coming from America, all the requests will go to this machine. If all the requests coming from this region, okay, it should go to Mumbai. All the request is coming from Australia should go to Sydney. Okay, this is how the geolocation work. Generally geolocation works for local languages. So you can configure that request coming from India should go to this server which will have a Mumbai Indian language like Hindi, Marathi and so on. And if the request is coming from this region, you can have a different machine where Islamic language can be used. So you can create this type of routing. So geolocation routing let you choose where your traffic will send based on the geographical location of your user, location from which the DNS queries originated. For example, you might want all the queries from India to be routed to fleet of EC2 machines that are specifically configured for Indian customers. Okay, why this is important? Because let's say you are visiting a e-commerce website. As you're in India, the e-commerce website, the all the pricing will be in rupees. So the machines are configured for displaying the price in rupees. If you go in America, the price will display in dollars. Okay, if you go to uh, European region, the machines should display the price in euro. Okay, so that's why geolocation is important. For example, there are servers. This server may have a local language of your Indian customer and price should be displayed in INR. Okay, so this is a routing. Indian customer routed to AP South 1, that is Mumbai, and US customer routed to Virginia. Okay, so let's go to Route 53, delete the record, previous records, and add a new record. Same similar to latency base, you can add a geolocation. Sydney, Sydney IP address. So let me add a Mumbai first. So this is Mumbai. So I will select which region. So all the requests coming from Asia should go to this IP address. This is Mumbai. Okay. Request coming from location, let's say America, North America, should go to Virginia. Okay. Request coming from um, Australia should go to Sydney. Okay. Now you have specify only three areas. Now what is apart from these locations? You can configure default. You can configure Africa. Okay. You have to specify the region. So all the requests coming from Africa should go to Mumbai EC2 machine. Machine for located in Mumbai. So you can configure like this. So right now, as we are in Mumbai, as we are in India, we are in Asia. So all the requests coming from here will land to Mumbai region. Let me check. Did I? Mumbai EC2 machine is working, right? Yes. IP address is of Mumbai. Yeah, EC2 machine is working. What happened to Asia? It took time. Yeah, we have configured. It take couple of times to update the routing. Now you can see it's working. If I go to other browser, let's change the browser. Now it's sending to Mumbai. Okay. It will take couple of seconds. If you are doing any changes and it's not reflecting, just wait for couple of seconds. It will be updated over the internet. So you can see every request is going to Mumbai. Now if I change, the Asia request should go to Sydney. All the requests coming from Asia, instead of Mumbai server, I will send to Sydney server. Okay, all the requests coming from Asia should go to Sydney. So this is Asia record added. Asia should go to Sydney server. IP address I have changed. Okay, so what is the IP address for my Sydney? 52.64.47.130. I have added and save. Now all the requests coming from Asia will go to the EC2 machine created in Sydney. So it will show me, it should update, and it will give me Sydney. It will take couple of seconds. Now you can see all the requests coming from Asia will go to Sydney machine. Okay. Now if you're refreshing and it's not taking it's not updating, just wait for a couple of seconds. Okay, there should be cache in your browser. Because of that it is not updating. Okay, that's why I use different browsers. Okay, now you can see here it's still have cache is there, but apart from this, if you I go to incognito, it is sending the traffic to Sydney. For my all the traffic is sent to Sydney. Okay, let me delete the all the records, A records. Now the next is failover routing. Basically failover routing means if your EC2 must one active and one is passive. So failover routing policy are used when you want to create an active passive setup. For example, you want to your primary site to be EU West 2 and your secondary site as DR is AP South East 2. Okay, so you have a active step passive. So Route53 will monitor the health of your primary site using health checkup. Health checkup monitors the health of your endpoint. Okay, so if your primary, all the traffic will go to the primary site by default. All the traffic will go to the primary site. Now if your primary goes down, all the traffic will go to the secondary site. Here till now health checkup was optional. Till now health checkup was optional. If you select any of routing, health checkup was optional. But if you are selecting the failover, okay, you have to give the health checkup. Okay, if you are selecting the failover, the health checkers, you have to pass the health checkup. Primary, you can see the health checkup, it's now not optional. You have to pass the health checkup. So Mumbai is my primary, or let's say Virginia is my primary. Okay, and Virginia, give any name, add, this is Virginia. Okay, I have added Virginia, and secondary is Mumbai. Failover, this is my secondary site, and here is Mumbai. Secondary is optional, but primary you have to give mandatory. Okay, TTL is 3 seconds, and this is failover routing. So just create the record. So you can see two records are added, primary and secondary. And if I refresh this, so if you're not adding any record here, a record, your domain is down, always remember, because it doesn't know where to route the request. Now it's up, all the requests will land to Virginia. Okay, just refresh all the different browser. Let me open, you can see this is Mozilla, every request is landing to Virginia. Now if I go to my Virginia EC2 machine, I'm in Virginia region, and just stop this machine. So the health checkup will going to fail. So if I go here, you can see the health checkup of Virginia is healthy. If I click here, you can see the health checker. Okay, so Route53 is keep on checking the health of your machine from different location and even the latency. So if I refresh, it will take a couple of 30 seconds to 1 minute as per our uh, last refresh rate. So you can see status is start failing. View the last failed checkup. Okay, so this is in UTC. Let's convert it into I Indian Standard Time. 8:32. That was last updated. Okay, now let's see the current status. Right now everything is okay, so our website will route to Virginia. Okay, but as you can see, the IP is not changed and Virginia site is down. still our website is sending the request to Virginia. Why? Because the health checkup is not updated. As soon as the health checkup will find out, it is taking time out. You can see now it is the health checkup started finding the request is failing. As soon as the health checkup, the status will go to unhealthy. Just refresh, hard refresh completely. Okay, monitoring. Now you can see the monitoring last hour, everything is healthy. Okay, as soon as the health checkup starts failing, it will update. Your health checkup will be updating as unhealthy, and your request will go to automatically to secondary site. Now it's all about how frequently you're doing the health checkup, how fast you are enabling your health checkup. Now you can see the requests are failing. It will mark your Virginia region as unhealthy status. You can see now it is gone to unhealthy. That means your URL will automatically switch to Mumbai. As soon as the health checkup status changes to Mumbai unhealthy, it will send the traffic to other secondary site. Now let me start the Virginia EC2 machine. Now if you remember, if I stop and start the EC2 machine, the IP will change. That's the problem. Okay, this is again a problem that you have to keep on updating the IP. So if I'm starting the machine, the IP is changed. So you can see previously the IP was 44.203.70.1. Now the IP has changed to 44.203.57.69. So you have to update the IP in the Route 53 as well. Okay, if you go to the Route 53, even in the health checkup, you have to update the health checkup. Edit the health checkup and paste the new IP to make the server to update the health checkup to the new IP range. So that's why we are not using direct IP, we are using load balancer, so that if the IP is changing, the load balancer can update the IP immediately. So you can attach the Route 53 with load balancer. That's we are going to see. So we are not directly attaching the IP address, we are using load balancer. So it will take time to health checkup to come in healthy state. Okay, meanwhile we'll go to further PPT, next PPT. Now multi-value, similar to simple routing, multi-value, in the simple routing there is no health checkup. If you remember, in simple routing there is no health checkup associated with simple routing. Okay, in simple routing there is no health checkup associated with it, but if you want to enable simple routing with health checkup, that's the multi-value. You can enable health checkup with simple routing. So simple routing answer request multi-value answer routing let you configure Route 53 to return multiple values such as IP addresses to your web server in response to DNS query. You can specify multiple values for almost any record, but multi-value answer routing also let you choose the healthy instance. So Route 53 will return only healthy resources. This is like simple routing, however it allows you to put health checkup on it. It's just like a simple routing. Okay, so if you go to your Route 53, okay, refresh it, your two domain, delete the 2A records, okay, create record, you will see multi-value. Okay, so I'm just adding two IP address, Mumbai, TTL is 30-second, health checkup optionally. You can, but if I'm selecting simple routing, you can see there is no health checkup. If I'm selecting a simple routing, there is no health checkup, but multi-value, it has a health checkup. You can associate a health checkup to it. Virginia. I'm just adding 2 right now. And save. So you have created 2 multi-value answer. Now if you refresh this, it will take time to update the domain. So you can see now it's coming Mumbai. Okay, now randomly it will go to Virginia. You can see somewhere it is hitting Virginia, somewhere it is hitting Mumbai. Okay, so it's a random. Okay, this is all about this routing policy, and there is one final routing policy. It's called geo-proxy routing policy. Now if you want to create a complex routing, where you want to combine all this routing which we have learned till now, you have to create a traffic policy. You can, in the right side, left side, you can see the traffic policy and traffic workflow. Okay, traffic workflow, basically in the your company, if you want to create a complex routing, you can have to create a traffic policy. Here give name traffic policy 1. Okay, so here you can create multiple endpoints. You can see starting with weightage routing, or let's say starting with failover. This is your first. As soon as the IP, your request lands to your domain name, you have to select what you have to do. So this is your primary site. Okay, and this is your secondary. So I'm selecting Mumbai. Secondary, I'm selecting Virginia. Okay, evaluate the target health. Evaluate the target health. Now you can see after failover, after primary, if you want to create weightage routing. Okay, I want to send a 10% traffic to this is a health checkup. Okay, I want to send a traffic to evaluate the health checkup. This is a health checkup. 90% to this endpoint. This is a health checkup. I am selecting Virginia. Now this is weightage geolocation. I want to split it to more complex. All the traffic from which is coming 10% traffic, and let it be Russia. Even you can block the traffic. Evaluate the traffic. Let's say Sydney, and the endpoint. Here you can attach the IP address. So what is my IP address of Sydney? This one. Here 10% Russia coming from America. Send it to new endpoint is Virginia. So you can create this complex thing. Even you can create geolocation, geo-proxy rule. Here you can create some bias. Okay, you can create some bias that you don't want to send the traffic, or you want to send the traffic to different region. Okay, so you can see the location here. Okay, uh, hmm. Latency. I am yes, redundancy. I'm just showing that Route53 can send the traffic to different, irrespective of your region. You can send to any global. So any region you can send the traffic. Yes, yes. That's what we are doing, right? Geolocation. So yeah. So in the same region also, it doesn't matter the same. I'm just sending to the endpoint. Which endpoint? This is a machine. Yeah, zoom in. So you can create you can see the weightage. It's your choice how you want to send the traffic. Your company, your website, your uh, application. Like right now, there is a war between Russia and Ukraine. You don't want to send the traffic, so you can just give the traffic as here weightage as 0. So nothing will go to Russia, right? Something like this. Okay. So you can create now geoproxy basically. What is geoproxy? Geoproxy map shows the how the traffic will route to your resource based on the setting in the current rule. You can zoom out and zoom out to take. Okay. So here I'm just creating the bias that I don't want to send the traffic. I want to send a less traffic to Russia. Okay. So here I'm selecting um, endpoint location Russia. Okay, let it be. So I have selected UAE, and second is I'm creating a bias. So I'm sending more traffic towards uh, let's say Asia Mumbai. Now you can see according to the bias I'm creating, the traffic is sent to different. You can see the more is traffic is sent to this one, red one, less is sent to UAE or for Russia if I have something. Or let's Sydney. Okay. So now you can see the percentage of traffic is sent to Sydney is this much over the percentage of traffic sent by Mumbai. So I'm creating a bias. According to the some bias, you can just change the number, the region traffic distribution. Okay. So it is called geoproxy rule. So there are complex. Basically, this is a complex routing you can create. Okay. This is a complex routing you can create, and accordingly, according to your company's requirement policy, you can create and attach to the your routing policy, your domain basically. Okay, so you can attach here. That is called geoproxy and workflow, uh, traffic flow basically. So geoproxy let Amazon Route 50 traffic to your resource based on the geographic location of your user and the resource. You can also optionally choose the route more traffic or less traffic given to a resource based on the specific value known as bias. So I can send more traffic. So you might have seen in many websites are sending more traffic to US rather than India. So bias expand or shrink the size of geographical region from which the traffic is routed to the resource. Okay. So use a geoproxy routing, you must use route workflow, traffic workflow. Okay. Now in the final part, let me show you. So this is the all type of routing which is available in Route 53. This is the IP based routing. Now I want to show you the alias. The main important one is alias. You can see alias routing. So if you click alias, it will send the traffic to AWS resources. Right now we are sending to the IP address, right? It can be EC2 machine, it can be your on-premise IP address. But if you want AWS services to be used, so just like S3 bucket or load balancer, application and classic load balancer, so you can send the traffic to the different URL. So we have S3 URL, we have load balancer URL. So my bucket is in Mumbai. So if you select, it will show you the bucket which is there. So this is a bucket which we have created. Okay, and just create the domain. Okay, record, create the record. Now if you refresh it for a couple of seconds, so whatever the information is there in S3 bucket, if I have enabled the web hosting, it will host the information on my domain name. So this is my bucket. Here I have only one file, index.html, and this is the website hosting. So you can see this was the website hosting on S3, right? Simple S3. But I don't want to use this URL. I want to use my URL, my domain name. So we have routed same thing. So you have gone to you have registered your domain name here, and from domain name you have routed it to S3 URL. So this URL is mapped with my personal domain name. So if I refresh this, you can see it is loading the same page. So the request is landing on S3 bucket, and from S3 bucket URL, this is loaded. Now if you change the content of this bucket, if you change the content of this bucket, let's say our previous website hosting, let me upload the content again. So now whatever the information is there, it will host, right? So just update. So your website will be changing accordingly. This is how in real world, really how the websites are loaded. So there will be some server, and this is the domain name. So just refresh. So now you can see the domain name is working. So this is your domain name, and this is a website which is hosted on S3. You can easily host any website on S3. So your request from Route 53 can go to any of the endpoint or other URL, other configured URL. That is all about Route 53. Any questions? Let me know.